Please share an introduction of yourself so that everybody can know more about you.
Okay, my name's Akarshit Kalra. I'm joining ISB batch of 2022, PGP batch, that is. I'm coming with 4 years of experience, 4 years of experience in the automotive manufacturing industry. And my experience was based in Europe, in Netherlands to be precise. And that's all my working experience. So all my working experience has been outside of India. Also, I've got a master's degree already. I've got a master's in mechanical engineering that was also based in Netherlands. And now I'm back in India to pursue my PGP from ISB.
Akash, tell us about your preparation for the GMAT. When did you start preparing for it, and how did you go about it?
Shruti, I gave my GMAT twice. One was before the pandemic itself. So that was the beginning of 2020. That was my first attempt, January 2020. Was a very, let's say, raw and rough preparation. Was 3 months of preparation here and there. And to be honest, that was also my highest score. So I took the GMAT again twice and realized with all the preparation and all the studies, it didn't turn out to be as good as the first time. So there can also be quite a big misunderstanding among the people that if you study more, the more you study, the more time you spend on the studies for GMAT, the higher you're going to go. I think it's also a lot of how your thoughts are aligned, how you are in terms of your mental space as well. I think that plays a big role as well. And I think my experience was a classic example because in terms of the knowledge, the second time I had, let's say in terms of just the knowledge, I had more knowledge than the first time. But how do you apply it? What kind of frame of mind you're in? And obviously you can put a little bit, yeah, I had a good day, bad day, but those are just excuses at the end of the day. I think it comes down to how you are at that day. So I think it's a combination of both the things. You need to have the right knowledge and just looking at the number of hours, that's not a good KPI to look at, I think. So yeah, that's my experience and also a recommendation as well, to not just look at the number of hours you spent in there, but what's coming out of it, and if you are actually able to apply what you have in there on that day. Another thing was not to be obsessed with GMAT. I mean, the thing is, there's quite a few, let's say, rumors, not rumors, but it's in the market that, oh, GMAT's the thing. I mean, you need to have a very high GMAT score. You need to be 750, 780. I think it really depends on what people are looking at versus what you have. I think, for example, in case of ISB, where I'm heading towards, GMAT obviously is a big parameter, but then there are other parameters as well. Can be your past academics, can be your working experience, extracurriculars, your profile in general. And to be honest, from starting onwards, I was very clear of what my strengths were. I think my profile provided me the let's say the high points in my application. So you really need to be sure about what you have versus what the school is looking at, because eventually the admission is about that. So I mean, GMAT will be important for people, and especially for a lot of people who do not have other things to compensate with. So I think it's a package that people have to be careful about, that GMAT is an important parameter, but it's not the only parameter as well. So don't always be obsessed about it. That's also my experience.
Preparing, starting to prepare the application. So what are the important things in the application?
The first thing that I wanted to be clear about, and I think also other applicants should be clear about, is to understand what the school is looking for. You can provide them something what they're not looking for, and yeah, you can end up at the wrong place. So the first thing is to be sure about what the school is looking for. And then the other thing is, what do you have? And the idea is to match it up, I think. And I think the essays are to a great deal about that, to understand what the school is looking at. Are they looking at what your ambitions are in the short term? Are the schools looking at what your ambitions are in the long run? Are they looking for which most of the schools are actually, what are you bringing in? Because there are thousands of other applicants in there. So you really have to stand out, tell the school what you're looking for. And I think it's more about that. And obviously you can only answer that once you know about yourself. And I think that's a very understated thing, because knowing about yourself, the introspection, I think that's the hardest part. And I think I spent weeks and months even thinking about what do I bring in. And eventually, when I ended up with the essays, I ended up writing things which I never thought about in the first go. So it's also a cycle. You have to keep thinking. It's not just that you sit on a table and chair and think, okay, this is what I bring in. I think it's constant introspection, aligning it with the requirements of the school. So I think that's what essay is. And if you just talk about writing an essay, I think it's going to take you 2 hours, but the thinking behind it, it's going to take you weeks and months, I think. So be careful about what the school is looking at. Look at where people end up from that school in terms of the alumni, or if you're looking at the placements, what kind of companies are coming in, what kind of profiles are being offered. And last but not the least, what do you have to offer?
If we look at a step-by-step process, what would you suggest anybody who's considering to apply in the next cycle?
I think the first thing is to begin early. So have a GMAT score as early as possible if you can. So I think that would set you, let's say, the basis for your applications. Okay, this is my academics, these are my GMATs, and these are my extracurriculars. And if you have time, build upon your profile, maybe a few certifications here and there, maybe extracurriculars if you can build upon that. And the next thing, as I said, was look what the school is offering. Sometimes people can do it by themselves. They can contact alumni, can contact career consultants like you. The third step is to then put down what do you have to offer, and then again, it's a lot of introspection. You can talk with alumni, talk with again, career consultants like you. So I think all these things, number one, start early, have your GMAT done with, be sure what your profile is offering, understand what the school is offering, begin with your essays. Essays are going to take you some time. Don't expect your essays to be complete with high quality in a couple of weeks. They're going to take you more time, and then pray for the best, I would say.
Okay. Coming down to the interview, what was the interview like at ISB, and how did you prepare for it?
The thing was, we spent a lot of time preparing for the interview, different things. For example, I'm coming from an automotive industry. Last 4 years I've spent over there. So my idea was, okay, the discussion would be about my projects that I did over there, about, for example, where the automotive industry is heading in general in terms of the electric vehicles, or maybe in terms of manufacturing as well, about smart manufacturing and those kind of things. None of those questions came in the interview. So nothing about those 4 years in there, to be honest. Were the classical questions about where do you see yourself, or why an MBA. But the major chunk of the interview was actually focused on something which I thought was really a very insignificant part of my resume or my profile. Was about a hobby that I did for a couple of weeks. Just set up like a tea stall in the university in Netherlands. So it was basically just giving away chai to people. And I had even forgotten about what I had done or that activity, to be honest. And they had picked it up, and the discussion actually was based on that for quite a few minutes. So the idea is be prepared for everything, but be ready also for surprises in there. And what really helped me was being honest. So what I had put down in my application was true facts, my experiences, hard facts in there. So it's really easy to back off those things when they really come up in the interview. So, and the saying fake it till you make it doesn't work, because those people are experienced people. They're going to question you again based on your answers. The discussion goes long. So better be honest and be prepared for surprises. I think that was my interview experience. Quite a few unexpected questions, but then being honest and developing a relationship with the interviewer, I think really helps.
Preparation for the interview, what parts of interview preparation do you think are most important?
First of all, you need to know your profile in and out, what you've done in the last few years during your work, and if your education was in the recent past, about that as well. So that's your, let's say, past. The other thing is your future as well, what you want to do. Why do you want to do it? Maybe there's going to be a connection between your past and the future as well. And in the center is your MBA. So be clear about what you really expect from your MBA. Otherwise, it's just shooting in the air, not knowing why you're doing it. That's not going to give a good impression anyway. So be sure about your past, your experiences, your central pillar. That's the MBA. Why MBA? And what do you want to do after the MBA? I think these are the most important components in there.